The woman's voice trembled. "The fever came 3 days ago. I've prayed for healing, but the herbs I once knew how to use, they've been forgotten." Sariel's chest tightened. It was his fault that humanity had once learned too much too soon, and now in fear had thrown away even the good knowledge. But this time, he didn't reveal forbidden secrets. Instead, he knelt and prayed. His hand rested on the boy's forehead, and with a whisper that only heaven could hear, he called upon the Creator's mercy. Moments later, the boy's breathing deepened. Color returned to his cheeks. The mother's eyes filled with tears as she pulled him close. "Who are you?" she asked. Sariel smiled faintly. "A friend, nothing more." And before she could thank him, he was gone, disappearing into the crowd. This became his way. Sariel walked the earth, moving from village to village. He tended the sick. He guided the lost. He whispered words of courage into the hearts of those who had given up hope. Sometimes he worked through dreams, planting visions in the minds of those who needed guidance. Sometimes he simply walked beside the lonely, unseen, until they found their way home. One night, Sariel stood alone in a field, looking up at the moon. It was full and bright, casting silver light across the land. The moon had been his first assignment, the great timekeeper of the heavens. Now as he gazed at it, he realized it had become something more, a reminder. The moon doesn't shine with its own light. It reflects the light of the sun. And Sariel knew that was him now. He had no light of his own anymore, only what the Creator allowed to shine through him. It was in that field that he heard a voice, deep, familiar, and cold. "You don't belong here." Sariel turned to see one of the watchers, still bound in bitterness, yet roaming in spirit to tempt and corrupt. His chains were spiritual now, unseen, but they still held. The fallen one sneered, "Do you think your service makes you one of them again? You're still one of us, Sariel. You broke the law. You fell." Sariel's voice was calm. "Yes, I fell, but I asked for mercy, and he gave it." The other angel spat in the dust. "Mercy is weakness." Sariel stepped closer. "Number mercy is strength you'll never understand." And with that, the figure vanished into the darkness, unable to stand in the presence of the light Sariel now carried. Sariel's work on earth had stretched across generations. He had walked through deserts with nomads, sat in the corners of bustling marketplaces, and stood in silent forests listening to the prayers of the lonely. But one night, under the silver light of the moon, the voice came again. Sariel. It had been years, maybe centuries, since he had heard it so clearly. His heart stirred. He fell to his knees. "Your time here is almost done. But before you return to me, there is one last thing you must do." Far to the north, in a land blanketed in winter, there was a village that had turned completely from the ways of God. They no longer prayed, no longer showed kindness to one another. Violence and mistrust filled their days. But in that village lived one girl, a child of 8, whose heart still quietly whispered to the Creator. Her parents were gone. She was cared for by strangers who only saw her as another mouth to feed. But still, every night, she spoke to heaven before she slept. The mission was simple in words but not in weight. Protect her, guide her, and bring her faith into the light.